Hey people, how's it going? Welcome to another video. As always, welcome to another top 10 list. This one is going to be a nice, quick, simple one. We are talking about my top 10 instrumental tracks, obviously in the hard rock and heavy metal genre. I saw a bro that I recently subbed to. I'm sorry that I can't remember your name at the moment, but I will hopefully edit in a photo of the video I watched, and he was talking about his top 10 instrumental songs, and I was like, do you know what? I won't lie. That's a pretty cool little video idea. So do you know what? I'm going to jump on that as well. So yeah, this is my top 10 instrumental lists. I've done my very best to not repeat artists. I did a video a little while ago about my top 10 songs that are longer than 15 minutes. And I unfortunately repeated a few artists. So with this one, I was like, we're just going to go full each number different artists. So yeah, it's a quick one. I'm excited, so let's just get straight into it. But as always, before we do, let me know down below what your favorite instrumental track is, you know, from anybody. Doesn't matter what it is. Be excited to know. If I'm unfamiliar with it, always go and check it out. Me being a guitar player, you know, I don't mind instrumental music. You know, I can listen to straight up orchestras without hating it. So yeah, let's just get straight into the list. Coming in strong with number 10. So number 10 is a song called Temple of the Absurd, and it is by Jason Becker off his debut album, Perpetual Burn. Just really had to check that. This one came out in 1988, and this one, if you're familiar with Jason Becker, this album has the infamous Altitudes song on it, and it's also got the title track, which is also great. But the reason I've chosen Temple of the Absurd is because I remember jamming this album back when I first discovered who Jason Becker was. He was a virtuoso, you know, upcoming absolute shred god guitar player who unfortunately got diagnosed with ALS in 1989, so which is literally a year after this album came out. So yeah, he just slowly deteriorated into losing much more, you know, of his limbs. First he lost feeling in his legs, and then, you know, eventually moved to his arms and hands, and he is, you know, pretty much full Christopher Reeve right now, but he's not dead. That's the amazing part. He's not dead. Anyway, yeah, I've chosen Temple of the Absurd for number 10. I just really liked the way, I liked the way this one sounded. I really, I loved the you could call it the verse little riff and the verse melody thing, that two note. It was really ominous, and I just thought that was really, really fun. This one features Marty Friedman as well as another song on this album has Marty Friedman on it, and the way they both, you know, shred off each other was just fantastic. This song starts with like a really intense, there's like a really intense sweep section before the verse kicks in, and yeah, I just thought it was really fun. But what I really loved about this one was the little part at the end, like the melodic section of the shred part, you could say. I just thought that it just sounded really nice. So yeah, if you're unfamiliar with any of these songs, please go listen to them. But yeah, number 10 is Temple of the Absurd of Perpetual Burn. Number 9 is my favorite instrumental track from Metallica, and that is Orion. I hummed and hard whether or not to do Orion or Cthulhu, and I was like, no, do you know what? When I sat and thought about it, I was like, Orion for me is the better instrumental. Purely for, like, both of them, Cthulhu and Lightning, have incredible bass work, but I think there's just something about Orion that just makes you just want to just punch small children. Do you know what I mean? I think it just must be the slower, just straight up heaviness of it, you know? It's just more, you could say it's more straightforward. It's just 8 minutes, you know, more or less of of groove, and it's just awesome. Obviously, it's not 8 minutes of straight groove. There is the little breakdowny calmer section where James Hetfield has his solo where he sounds like a fire air raid siren. You know, that's pretty funny. But the amazing bass solo in this song is just absolutely awesome as well. How long is it? It's 8.5 minutes of just, yeah. And I do think the solo in this one, Hammett solo, is really cool. Everyone gets a bit of a solo in this song. It's really fun. The only thing I don't like about it, you could probably figure out, is the fact that it ends by fading out. I don't like songs that fade out, especially ones where it's like, dun, dun, dun. They could really have just, you know, held the chord, maybe ended it with a chime or a gong or something, you know, making it sound really epic. But yeah, it's a fantastic song. I probably don't need to tell you to check out Orion, but if you're new to, you know, heavy metal, hi, go check out Orion, and then check out the rest of this album for that matter. But yeah, Orion is easily my favorite Metallica instrumental. So yeah, number 9 is Orion. Number 8 is a very nostalgic song for me, and that is Michelangelo Badio's No Boundaries, or Speed Kills, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, No Boundaries. Oh God, where to start with this song? I remember that infamous YouTube clip about using the keys to the Lamborghini like 20 years ago, you know, when that first came on the internet for us anyway. And I was just like, holy God, what is this? This guy's playing so fast. And then I found the Speed Kills version of No Boundaries, where it's not, I mean, yeah, it's still very crazy, but it's not as crazy as that Lamborghini clip. I got the DVD of how to play No Boundaries, and to this day, I still can't play No Boundaries. But you can say my practice routine wasn't exactly persistent enough. So yeah, just that song is one. Yeah, like I say, it's incredibly nostalgic for me. I did learn chunks of it. There's sweeping in it, there's string skipping, there's classical sections, there's just alternate shredding. It's got everything a guitar player wants, do you know what I mean? And me being me, he probably just, you know, I loved at the time, back in like 2011, 2012, I was obsessed with, well, still am, still obsessed with like going fast. Obviously, look at my number 10, it's Jason Becker. And, you know, I was listening to him, and I was listening to, yeah, Michelangelo, and I was listening to Dragon Force, and everything just had to be fast 24/7 all the time. So yeah, once I learned the sweep section in No Boundaries, the big monster sweep climb, I felt like a god. I learned the little arpeggiated picked part. I could never play it up to speed, but I learned how to play it, so I felt cool. Yeah, it's just I just think it's great. When I hear that 5-string sweep at the start, I'm just like, oh, fantastic. Yes, I'll still jam that song today. I still pretend to play it. So yeah, I think it's great. Yeah. Number 8, Michelangelo Badio's No Boundaries. Number 7 is Eric Johnson's Cliffs of Dover. Can you guess where I found this song? Yes, it was indeed Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. The song is featured in is it right at the end? Like it's in the last stage. It's in the last concert section of the game. So you have I think you've got Number of the Beast, this song, Cliffs of Dover, and Raining Blood, I think. And there might be one more, I'm not sure. But yeah, this one was just an amazing song, not because of its shred factor or anything, you know. It's not the fastest song in the world. It is one of the more technical songs on this list, which I, again, never learned how to play, just loosely jam over that song over the years. But it's just, I just think it's fun. I remember when I would actually not play that song on the game, play that song in my room coming out of my guitar rather than the Guitar Hero controller, Mum would always say, what is that you're playing? It sounds like, you know, happy fairground music compared to everything else that I was listening to at the time, you know. I was just like, oh, it's just this fun song, because you know that damn catchy chorus, you know, it's like, it's the happiest heavy metal song you've ever heard in your life. Musically, it's, yeah, like I say, it's technical as there's hybrid picking. It's Eric Johnson, for God's sake, so I don't need to say too much more. I've just read here, the album version of the song is composed in the key of G minor. So that's major, sorry, it's a major song, obviously. So that's fun. But yeah, it was just a fun song to play, and when you hear that it's just like, oh yeah, here we go. It's a great song still, more or less. I did check out a bit more of Eric Johnson's songs over the years, you know. Manhattan's a great song. I love that one. Nice, calm, and, you know, real beautiful octave song. Yeah, kind of reminded me of Tender Surrender. But yeah, no, I think it's a fantastic song. It's so much fun. It's more of a nostalgic trip for that one again. But yeah, to this day, I still jam it, and it's great fun. So yeah, number 7, Cliffs of Dover. Number 6 is a funny little instrumental one that comes from the band Rhapsody. So we're going into power metal now. We've got Trolls in the Dark from their Dawn of Victory album from the year 2000. This album, if you know anything about Rhapsody, you know that they loved their symphonic classic power metal, absolutely fantastic stuff. I was madly obsessed with Rhapsody about a decade ago. They were all I would listen to at one point, because everything they did was just absolutely beautiful. Trolls in the Dark is a cute little fun classic, well, not classical, heavy metal classical instrumental song that pretty much acts as like you could use it as like maybe not a montage song, but like the album is called Dawn of Victory, and it's about the story. It's album 3 in a 5-album saga telling one mega story of awesome stuff. It's just, yeah, think about it. Trolls in the Dark. It's just a song without any words where our heroes are in caves running around from trolls. It's great. It's great fun. I love the little chorus thing where it's like, it sounds sort of Cliffs of Dover-y in terms of do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. But like, instead of instead of weird picked, it's like it's swept. So it's just fun. It's nothing fancy at all. Well, it is fancy if you're not a classically trained guitar player. It's great fun. It's catchy. It's quick. It's like 2.5 minutes. So there's nothing fancy about it at all. But yeah, the only fancy thing about it is the guitar picking. But yeah, it's catchy, it's fun. I just think it's great. It's quick and easy. So yeah, number 6, Trolls in the Dark. Number 5 is a song by Steve Vai from his, I think, Passion and Warfare album, and that is For the Love of God. Yeah, again, it goes back to the whole nostalgic thing. When I found No Boundaries and when I found Cliffs of Dover, I also found For the Love of God. I was learning how to shred and how to play fast and technical stuff, but also this song was just beautiful. I don't exactly remember the moment I heard it. It was probably a YouTube click where I knew his name, clicked the song, and fell in love immediately with that opening lick. I was just like, wow, this sounds nice. What is it? And I just thought it was awesome. Like everything about it, from the slow repetitiveness that repeats, that phrase that he does at the start where it repeats, but each time he does it, he just adds a bit more flurry, a bit more Steve Vai-ness, shall we say. The changes from bridge to neck pickup on the second time. Instead of sliding to the note, he bends to the note and gives it a bit of shake. Just random things like that. And then just jumping off that melody idea of doing all sorts of fun stuff. I learned how to play this on guitar very like 90%. I could just shred through the part that I didn't actually probably learn, but like it was just amazing. It felt like I knew how to play the guitar once I learned that. Do you know what I mean? Because everything else is just a shred fest of just a million miles an hour. This one had depth and it had feeling, and it was a lot more moving, like compared to everything else that I was listening to. This song is, it's 6 minutes of just like real beautiful guitar playing. Just you can virtually sing this whole song because it's that melodic. It's honestly so pretty. If you haven't heard this song, I do highly recommend you go listen to it. It's really, really awesome. It's so cool. So yeah, number 5, For the Love of God. Number 4 is the signature track from Yngwie J. Malmsteen, and that is Far Beyond the Sun. Obviously, you can't have a conversation about instrumental metal music, without talking about the king of Swedish shred himself, Yngwie J. Malmsteen, for Far Beyond the Sun. Good God. I did try and learn this, and the only thing that, this is going to sound funny, the only thing that kept stopping me from learning this in its full was the fact that it was down-tuned half a step. I'm incredibly lazy in terms of tuning guitars and whatnot. Everything I played was in standard, so the fact that this was a down half step, I was just like, okay, it's not that important to learn. So I just jammed it as best I could, trying to figure it out in standard, and didn't get very far. But anyway, it's iconic. Do you know what I mean? It's that perfect 80s blend of, like, you could just imagine what was happening in the 80s for the whole shred scene at the time. You've got Steve Vai being Steve Vai. You've got him also in who was in Alcatraz? Was Malmsteen in Alcatraz, or was Vai in Alcatraz? I can't remember, but maybe they were both in it at one point. But anyway, obviously Malmsteen is very, very neoclassical. That was obviously the first time I'd heard anyone play classical shred metal. I was like, what do you mean it's classical? It's just like, you're doing stuff on the guitar that guitar players don't necessarily do. You know what I mean? Like, you're up here and then you're down here within 4 seconds, and it's just like, what? So yeah, Far Beyond the Sun was just awesome, and a bunch of other Malmsteen songs too. But yeah, obviously this one takes the cake in terms of best Malmsteen song. It's got solos. It's weirdly got it's got structure. Obviously Malmsteen's music, he does have actual songs that have, like vocals and lyrics and everything. So to have like instrumental track that also has a bit of flow is kind of nice. There's the intro shred, and then it's just, you can break apart each section and be like, oh, yep, cool. So it all flowed really nicely after each other. I just thought it was really cool. And there's a tiny bit of a keyboard solo in there as well, which kind of gives the guitar player a bit of a break. So yeah, it's just one of those iconic songs. When did this one come out? 1984. So 40 years of Rising Force this year. When did this album come out? I'm not sure. This one's not telling me because I'm on the page for the song, but that's okay. Yeah, number 4, Far Beyond the Sun. It's absolutely perfect. Go listen to it if you've never heard Far Beyond the Sun. Number 3 is Eruption. Yeah, again, another bit of a nostalgic one as an upcoming guitar god. Obviously, Eruption was one that turned so many heads, and probably hopefully still turns heads today with with what modern metal is doing today. I hope young kids are still hearing songs like Eruption and thinking, "Holy God, I want to do that." It's not all about Polyphia. This little 90-second solo. I mean, what do we need to say about it? That trem pick, the whammy dives, the tapping, obviously the tapping part. Just this little 90-second song had everything that shredders that I wanted to do. I learned how to tap. I learned the tapping section. I've never learned how to play Eruption in full. I did learn the legato part. I did try and learn how to do it like that, free-handed. It was just like, wow, how does he do that? Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. He was an absolute shred god, and this debut album is honestly honestly perfect in a way. I honestly thought that Eruption was the opening song, but it's not. Running with the Devil's the opening song, and that honestly cracks me up. I thought, can you imagine opening an album with Eruption? Like, what a kick in the face on the debut album. Just everything about that little solo, from the whammy dives to the taps to the shreds, just, yeah, it's absolutely perfect. Yeah, even today, 50 years later, nearly 1978, it's just, it should probably tell me down here. Yeah, 1978, so what are we, 44, 46 years this year, so, or whatever, I don't know. Number 3, Eruption, is a great solo, go listen to it. Number 2 is the opening track from Megadeth's third album, So Far So Good So What, and that is Into the Lungs of Hell. That bit like Eruption, this one is that weird little tappy thing that they have in there, that triplet tap thing. It's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, it starts with like, I want to say, like, has it got acoustic guitar in those little strums? Because it just really adds to it. And then in real typical Megadeth fashion, it's just like, oh, here we go. This is a fantastic album already. And So Far So Good So What is actually a really good album. But yeah, it's a fantastic little shred intro, but like Mustaine likes to do, there's also melody into it as well. It's just a fantastic song. And yeah, like I said, there's that little tappy section of where it's like he's like pulling off up here, but he's like tapping an octave higher on like the 18th, 17th frets or whatever. I don't know. I've never actually tried to learn it, but yeah, it's a fantastic little shred opener. I think it's absolutely awesome. Really sets the tone up for So Far So Good, and it's just, yeah, it's a perfect little shred song. It's so good, and that's like an actual song. It's not like a solo. So yeah, number 2, Into the Lungs of Hell. Which means number 1 is obviously Iron Maiden's Transylvania. Are you surprised? Now, at first, I wasn't sure if this was going to be number 1, but honestly, yeah, when I first heard Transylvania, I was blown away by everything. I was just the simple dun bum bum bum. When I heard that, I was just like, wow. It's one note just repetitively picked, but I just love the grittiness of the tone that it was. It just sounded so good. And then it's of course the bouncing verse. I was like, God, that's good. And then it comes back to that. Just hearing that twice through, I was just like, oh God, that's just so good. And the solos in it are fantastic as well. And then it's got the typical Maiden it's like the same frets as Hello, just in a different time signature. But yeah, honestly, Transylvania is not my favorite song off this Iron Maiden album, but it's definitely up there. So yeah, number 1, my favorite instrumental song is definitely Transylvania off the Iron Maiden debut. And that concludes my top 10 list of instrumental hard rock heavy metal songs. Like I said at the start, let me know down below what your favorites are. Do you agree with my picks? Do you disagree? Is Eruption number 1? Is Orion better than all the rest of them? Let me know down below. Get the conversation going. Thank you for watching me, team. Hang out for the next video. I will have another top 10 list up soon. But until that happens, everybody, stay inside, stay safe, jam some instrumentals, and I'll see you all in the next video. See you later.